After the locksmith left, I forced myself to look through the trunk. Nothing else in it. Nothing but a few pieces of wrapping paper. Wrapping paper with the words Frozen Carbonic Company. Dry ice. Printed on it. Dry ice. A guinea pig. A dog. I got in the car and went to our doctor's office. Dr. Hanson might tell me.
There you are, Ellen. I'll sit down here.
Thank you.
Now, what's our trouble, Ellen?
Jay, maybe I'm being silly.
Oh, nothing silly if it worries you.
Well, Charles has been puttering around his laboratory. You know how he does.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been doing some experimenting with dry ice. And I've heard some things about it.
Oh, what kind of things?
Oh, that it was dangerous. Say, if left in a closed room, it might even kill a person.
Oh, now listen. Of all the chemicals he plays around with, dry ice is the least of your worries.
Would it kill a person?
Oh, really?
Well, would it?
Well, I suppose it would. It evaporates into carbon dioxide gas, would actually cause suffocation. Heart would go.
There wouldn't be any trace of poison in the system. It would seem like natural causes.
What's that?
And then if it evaporated, there wouldn't be anything left, like water. No way to know. Nothing to trace.
What are you driving at?
Oh, I don't know. I'm upset. I guess you're right. I am being silly.
Oh, now, look, Ellen. Charles is really a brilliant man. He knows exactly what everything he experiments with can do.
Yes, of course.
Of course. You didn't sleep well again last night, did you?
No,
I'll take 2 of those sleeping tablets and get to bed early.
Sleeping tablets?
The ones I gave Charles for you.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. That night I sat in the upstairs den, read until my eyes burned without having the least idea what was written in the book. An hour passed by. 2, 3. There were no more sounds coming from the bedroom. Charles was asleep. I wanted to sleep myself. Desperately, I had to sleep. But I wouldn't go into that room with him. I remember hearing the clock in the living room strike 3. The night breeze shake loose a shutter downstairs. The distant cry of a tomcat, and then, unmistakably, I sensed a chill coming over the room, surrounding me. A pale light was filtering through the Venetian blinds. Morning was near. The room was like ice. Ice! Charles, don't.
Well, Ellen, you fell asleep. I just brought a blanket for you. I thought maybe you were cold.
No, I...
You've been dreaming. Now, there.
I don't want a blanket.
All right. Here, take these.
Take what?
A couple of your aspirin. Here.
No. No! No, I don't want them! I don't want them! I apologized an hour later for getting so upset. I even made coffee for him before he left for work. I was wary now, you see. It was far better not to let him know that I'd found out. Then I'd have the advantage on him. And he wasn't able to deny it and change his tactics. So now I held the advantage, and I...
Hello, darling. Surprise.
Oh, Charles. You're home early.
Well, don't look so disappointed. Expecting the Iceman? Look.
What is it?
Open it up.
An orchid. It's beautiful.
Not half as beautiful as my lovely wife. And that ain't all.
More?
Lots. Tonight, my darling, we're going out. Dinner at the plaza, the show at the Green Hat, the gypsy violinist at Little Asia, and champagne. Nothing but champagne, all the champagne we can drink. We're going to pack into this night everything you ever wanted and ever loved. All the places we used to go. Tonight's yours.
Why, Charles?
Why? Well, does there have to be a why?
Usually.
Not to this husband.
Well, I mean, I
you
don't think...
You deserve it. That's enough. Now, upstairs and into your best. Tonight's the night.
We started on the merry-go-round, but all that I could think of was, tonight is the night. We went to all those places. Charles laughed a lot. But there was something horrible in the back of his eyes. They didn't laugh. It was very late when we got home. There was one of those notices on the door you get when a telegram has been delivered and no one was home to receive it. He called Western Union, listened while they read it to him. And then he put his coat back on, came over and put his arms around me.
Ellen, there's a new contract that came in this afternoon. I've got to go down to the office.
But it's nearly 3 a.m.
I'll call you when I get there.
Well, if you have to.
It's a rush deal, and I've got to figure out a formula so the boys can work on it in the morning. So, go to bed, darling.
Operator.
Western Union, please.
Just a moment. Western Union.
This is Mrs. Charles Forrester, 1552 Carlton Manor Way. You sent a wire that was just read over the phone. My husband wanted me to get the exact wording. Would you read it again, please?
One moment, please. Here it is.
Go ahead.
Charles, tried reaching you by phone. Auditors still working on books. Call office immediately. Signed, Tom.
Thank you. The auditors were still working on the book. Charles's boss was trying to contact him. Well, Charles wasn't worried. He'd have the missing money and a little extra besides. The difference between $30,000 and... Hello?
Oh, darling. How do you feel?
All right.
I called to tell you that I wouldn't be home until very late tonight. Maybe not even until tomorrow. Something came up at the office, and I'll have to drive out of town.
Oh?
Now, I want you to go to bed.
I will.
You haven't had a good night's sleep in a week, and I'm worried about you. Take a couple of aspirin and hit the hay. Why don't you sleep in the upstairs den, and I won't wake you if I should have
All
to.
right.
Promise?
Promise.
Bye, darling.
Goodbye. Tonight's the night. Yes, of course, he wouldn't be home when it happened. He'd be out of town. But then what? Where would it come from? Oh, my head was aching so that I could hardly see. I took 3 aspirin and sat down to wait for him. Hello?
Is Charles Forrester there?
Well, who's calling him?
Well, I'm terribly sorry to bother you at this hour, but I'm not sure that this is the Forrester I want. This is the Frozen Carbonic Company. You wouldn't know whether your Mr. Forrester ordered some dry ice for tonight.
Well, why?
Well, the plant's shutting down for the night, and this fellow made such a fuss about it, said it was so important that I wanted to make sure he found it. He said for us to leave it on the back ramp, but he hasn't picked it up yet. I guess he'll find it all right.
You must have the wrong Forrester.
Oh, I'm sorry to bother you.
The upstairs den. That's why he wanted me to sleep there. A small room where dry ice could do its suffocating faster, more surely, more believably. And realizing it, why wasn't I excited? My heart wasn't beating fast anymore. In fact, I felt quite cool. Drowsy. I shook my head. Oh, it still ached, the aspirin. Why hadn't it stopped my headache? I'd have to take 2 more. I started to the medicine cabinet. Oh! I couldn't walk straight. I opened the cabinet and got out the bottle of aspirin. I'd already taken 5. Why didn't they? No! They weren't aspirin at all. They were sleeping tablets. He tricked me. I'd been drugged. I had to run. Stop him. I was helpless. He won. I got to keep awake. Got to. Yes?
Hello, Ellen?
Yes, who is this?
This is Tom. Where's Charles?
Well, isn't he there? He said he was going to the office.
Oh, I've been trying to get him all night. Even sent a wire.
Oh, no.
Now, Ellen, things aren't as bad as all that. Look, I've known you for 20 years. Think I haven't made mistakes shown wrong. I knew he took that money months ago, and I figured it must have been for a pretty good reason. All I wanted was for Charles to tell me about it. Well, I've already made up for it out of my own pocket, and Well, you and Chuck can pay me back whenever you can. He's much more valuable to me than a few dollars. Well, do you hear me, Ellen?
Yes.